In this episode, I speak to someone who has leveraged networking and her network to win all the clients she needs. She had to reinvent herself 3 years ago and restart her business. And she has won a ton of business from networking. So if you're a coach, if you need new clients, this is the episode you need to listen to. If you're not a coach, you're going to learn a lot from this. And Ruth brings a ton of energy to this. Let's dive in. So Ruth, you just before we started, you said to me you were an introvert.
Yeah.
How does an introvert build a hugely successful coaching and mastermind business and win all your clients from networking?
So I probably should have explained a bit further. I am an extroverted introvert. So everyone who knows me thinks that I am an extrovert. And I love people for up to about 2 hours. And then honestly, I just want to be by myself. So I'm that person that if I go networking, honestly, I am just super excited to meet every single person in that room. And I am that person that will be like, right, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna meet people, I'm gonna make connections, I'm gonna gather cards, and I'm gonna follow up. Because quite frankly, I'm busy. So if I'm going networking, it's going to be the most productive time I could possibly have. I'm not that person that goes and like hides in the corner and like hopes that nobody speaks to them. Like I will literally leave that room hopefully having spoken to more than half, or if possible, all the people in it, and know the people that are my key follow ups to build relationships with. And I have to say, in physical rooms, I do target people based on what they're wearing.
Oh,
So
interesting.
if I see somebody who is wearing a fabulous outfit, I'm much more likely to go and talk to them because they've probably got a strong personal brand and they're probably somebody that I'd really like to work with because they're on it, they know what they're doing. Not always. I also have clients who, could do with a stylist, but I love them too.
So that's interesting because I've been running some training earlier today, and we talked about the difference between online and in person. And I explained to people, look, because everybody says to me, in person networking is better, and I said
Can be.
that's. But I think a large part of it is because of how people treat it. So, because they're going out somewhere, we need to look our best. So they get up early. They don't want to be rushed. They shower, wash, put their best perfume or aftershave on. Like me today, put their best outfit on.
I
I've
love
got
it. You're looking good. You're smelling great as well.
thank you. But we do things differently compared to when we're just at home. Well, I'm just at home. It's only on Zoom. And so we set off early because we don't want to get stuck in traffic. And we arrive early because we never want to walk into the room late after an event started. We don't want to be that hot and flustered person that's bustling in and dragging chairs and all that kind of stuff. So we arrive early. We've probably role played the conversations that we're going to have in our head on the way there. And we're
You're
feeling
massively overthinking this. I just rock up, but okay.
But they do. So, like, I'm gonna go there. This is what I'm gonna talk about. If particularly if we're doing a presentation, compare that to Zoom, I think a lot of people just go, "Oh, it starts in a minute." I'll
Jump
I'll
on, grab a coffee, you come a bit late.
yeah.
No, do you know what's really interesting? Back to the outfit thing. So I went on, do you know who Laura Brunton is?
Yeah.
She's a like really awesome. I've only just discovered her, a really awesome business coach. And she runs this like monthly in-person networking. And I was on that for the first time yesterday. I mean, I think I jumped on for about a minute previously because I wanted to take a peek, but I'd actually had a clash. I was meant to be in a different room. So yesterday was my first proper time on it. And she actually singled me out at probably the best time possible in the whole call. She was like, Ruth, tell me what your superpower is in your business. And I was like, amazing. I'm basically getting to tell this whole phenomenal room of like 160 of probably my target market what I'm brilliant at. And it was because I was wearing a hot pink blazer. And yeah, it's exactly the same. Like, so I'm very conscious of what I wear when I go networking. So I want to be noticed, but not for the wrong reasons. So I'm very conscious to be bright, to be colorful, to be bold, to be eye catching, but not because I've got a lot of skin out. Like
Yes.
I want to be very tastefully bright and bold, but covered up. I don't want anyone looking at me and being like, and just taking the wrong thing from it.
Hmm.
So I want to be professional, but I want to be my most professional, my best professional self, and I want to be memorable. So I'll get like that girl in the blue blazer or that girl in that leopard print dress. And
I
it's
wouldn't,
obviously much easier being female.
yeah, I wouldn't wear leopard print. I'd wear a blue
You could
blazer.
wear leopard print. I dare you to wear leopard print. That what's that Dubai event you're going to? Honestly, I dare you. I'd love to see
Okay, I'll send you the pictures. So as an extrovert, introvert, I get that because I find events tiring, whether they are online or in person. But
that.
peopling in itself is
It's
tiring because we put everything into it. We want to be the best version. It's a
mhm,
performance. And I had a guy called Scott Ransom talking this morning. He's an actor and an acting coach, and he did a presentation this morning at an event talking about how we perform. And if we were actors, we wouldn't turn up and do a mediocre performance and expect to get rave reviews. We turn up to do our best performance, and that's what we have to do in our business. We do that with clients, and what you're saying is that you do that at every networking event that you go to.
hell yeah. So it is me. It is authentically me, but it is my best business self.
Yeah.
So like I would never turn up and whine. Like nobody's there for that bad energy. Like you want to be the person that people want to work with. So turn up and be that person who brings the energy, the right energy. Be positive, be interested, ask people about them because people love talking about themselves. They don't actually need to hear anything about you because you can follow up and make sure that you're then booking in that conversation. Add every single flipping person you meet at that event on LinkedIn or
Really?
yeah,
Do we not just leave the follow up to everyone else?
well, you can, but it's not going to work for you. And also, it doesn't have to be you. So I actually have a phenomenal VA that you facilitated the introduction. So thank you very much. She does all that boring stuff for me. Do you know what I mean? I literally, if it's an online event, I screenshot it and I send her the photo and I'm saying, could you please connect with all of these people? The next message she's going to get from me, which I should have sent already, is please could you invite all of these, the 160 people I met yesterday, could you invite them onto my next workshop, which they can come for free because it's my lead magnet, and I know will give them like a transformative, hour of group coaching. So it's following up, it's offering something that is really valuable to that person. And honestly, for me, it's resisting the one-to-one invites at the moment because I freaking love to do one-to-ones with everyone I meet, but my diary doesn't allow for it. It's just I'm at that point where I can't do it. But I will always invite that person on to come onto one of my workshops for free because I know they're going to get value. I know we can interact in that group session and still build that relationship. But it's the way that works for me.
So if I break this down a little bit, then so you have a
Yeah.
plan. You have a plan for what you're doing. Um, you can't run at that pace all the time. So you turn up to give your best performance, the best version of you.
I actually don't like the word performance because it feels slightly inauthentic. So I bring my best business self.
Okay, but
I
if
think
you
we're
if you
saying
were
the
an
same thing, but
athlete,
it's not working for me that way.
but if you were an athlete,
Yeah,
you would do your best
bring my
performance.
A game.
Yeah, yeah. So you turn up as the best version of you. You know you want to connect with as many people, so you have an approach for it.
Yeah,
You're dressed, feeling good, looking good,
yes,
and then what's most important is you've got a system for following up with people.
yes. That takes the heavy lifting off me and puts it onto a delightful lady who doesn't charge as much as anyone in the UK.
Yeah. Okay, I love that. Now, we were just talking briefly. So you started your business 5 years ago, then a mixture of COVID and having a baby effectively means that you started 3 years ago when you in
Yeah,
this format.
yeah. I had to pivot during COVID, and so I've basically been making my comeback for 3 years.
And I don't think it's any surprise to anyone that you are doing very well and thriving as a coach.
Thank you. I do feel like I'm absolutely freaking on fire, to be honest. I've landed 15 dream clients this year, and I have 7 more in the pipeline who I'm expecting will join me in the next month or two.
So you're a coach and you run mastermind groups, and we're not, as a coach, it's not a high volume business, it's high quality. It's finding the right people, so the dream clients to work with who are a pleasure, and by working with them, everybody wins.
Yes.
And how do you find your clients?
So a lot of them come from networking. So the people that I meet networking that I'd love to work with, I will always follow up for a one-to-one. I want to have a conversation because that for me is the best way of landing clients, is literally having a coffee. And you know, if I'm meeting you in person for a coffee, I really value you because it doesn't happen very often. Totally blanking on the question. Please edit this.
How right, so let me just rephrase that.
Are you going
S
to edit that, or am I just
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
look like a complete idiot?
I don't know yet.
You have my permission not to. I don't care.
So I try not to write. So here's an interesting thing. I get memory blanks all the time, and I start answering, my head because I have an ADHD brain. So
I was going to say, are you ADHD? Because I think I might be.
I'm looking in one direction, and my brain is going in a different one.
Yeah.
So you've built a hugely successful business in a short period of time. How have you done that?
Okay. So yeah, networking. So I have gone out and just met loads of freaking people. I have then connected with them, the ones I wanted to work with, and I've made an invitation. I think I've probably priced myself a little bit too low, honestly, but it's made it a very compelling proposition. And I'm very public about who I'm working with.
Right.
So if I am, if I am running a mastermind, you will see that there. Every single person in that event will be tagged. I've also leveraged off people. So my first in-person mastermind started because a business contact of mine asked me to set it up. And the room that she was suggesting I brought together, I was like, holy shit, who am I to bring that group together? Um, but I did it. So I said, okay, listen, I'm going to use your name because there needs to be like an anchor person. And she was like, yeah, great. It worked for her as well. Like she got to come to a chunk of it for free because I basically used her with her permission. Um, and actually, people want to be around other great people. So with the masterminding, the caliber of people I've brought together in that room, leveraging off that one individual in the growing group, is absolutely incredible. People see me working with them and they're like, why would I work with any other business coach anywhere near you? If you're working with those people, I want to be with you. I've shared, probably not as much as I should, but some of the success stories of working with my clients. Um, and yeah, so a lot of what I do is I bring together phenomenal rooms of amazing individuals. And by association, everyone else assumes I am amazing at what I do, which obviously I am. But it's really helped validate me very quickly. So a lot of people look at me, especially people in London, and they're like, who the hell are you? Where have you come from? And how are you doing this well? I'm not too sure actually, but it's working like a dream. So yeah, so I've gone out there, I've networked a lot in person, a lot online. I've found my people, I've invited them, and I've been very public about it.
Okay. What do you love about networking then?
I love the buzz. Like, there's nothing better than being in a buzzy, high energy room of awesome people getting to know each other, building connections. What I hate about networking is rigid rules, lack of relationship, people being dicks, which happens in some networks that we're not going to name on here, and just general, like, when it's not about relationship, when it's about obligation.
Yeah.
So, like, networking is all about people. Like, networking is all about relationship. And that's why my business is so successful, because I genuinely love the people I work with. I go out of my way to help them. I also go out of my way to help, like, people I barely know, but we all have our personality flaws. It's very time consuming. But like everyone that I meet, everyone that I work with, I genuinely want them to win. And I'm trying my best, whether or not they're going to be a client of mine, to help them to win. So it's about, I guess, giving before I receive. It's about being the person I would want to meet and just trying to bless people because I often can. It's rare that you meet somebody that you can't do something that would help them.
So I have this suspicion that a lot of people, wherever you are in business, you're always looking for more clients. Clients don't last for forever, so we need to have a constant flow of new people. And networking is perceived as an easy way to find. You just go networking, just go networking, and that's a fraction of it. That's dipping your toe in. You've got to, like we said, you've got to show up as the best version of you. You've got to have an approach and you've got to do the follow up. And that's the time. If going networking is the 20%, 80% is what you do after the event.
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what sets you apart then from other people. So I think that this episode is the kind of guiding light for coaches. If you want to build a successful coaching mastermind business, then start taking this approach that you've got to put the effort into helping people. And that's what I love, helping people. And I was just speaking to somebody, why do we give to charity? We want to do good, but it makes us feel good as well, doesn't it? Yeah. And passing referrals and helping other people gives you a great buzz from helping them to succeed. We get something from it's a transaction. I help you, I get something back. I feel good.
Mhm.
Being
And
around
to be fair, long term, you're probably going to get business from it because there's that law of reciprocity. When
yeah,
somebody gives us something, no matter how small it is, we feel an obligation that we're not necessarily even aware of to repay that debt.
yes.
And
If I
yeah, we don't even know, but we're looking for ways to help that person.
yeah, it's built into us. If I buy you a drink, you probably want to buy me a drink back.
Yeah,
If I give you a present for your birthday or for Christmas, you're probably going to reciprocate.
yeah, probably late as well. I'm not very organized.
Me either.
Get my rule on it.
But if we pass somebody a referral, there's something subconsciously that they will want to reciprocate as well.
Yeah.
And it's a nice thing to do. It's not a mean thing. It's good. It's two people helping each other out. And the more that we do it,
Also, it's the right thing to do because if you know two people who don't know each other who could benefit from working together, like, who are you to stand in the way of that? Like, why would you not facilitate that connection?
yeah. Um, I think I was trying to come up with some new phrases, and I think passing referrals is like the glue within our network. It can bring two people together that don't know each other, and then they've got that common bond that helps them remember us as the person. So it brings three people together that don't really know each other because there's got to be three people involved in it. Me introducing two others.
And
Uh,
it strengthens that relationship you have with them as well.
yes. Yeah.
Love it. I hadn't
Um,
actually seen the triangle, really. That's been a very visual moment for me.
yeah. And the more that we do that, the deeper the connections, and then the stronger the network. And the more referrals I pass to you, the stronger the friendship, the relationship's going to be. That's how it works. And then it doesn't. But the beauty of it is, if we can find some people who deal with the same kind of people as us, it's no work. Because if you and I have both got the same ideal kind of client, when I'm speaking to one of my clients, which I do every day, and I bring you up in conversation, there's no effort.
Mhm.
And likewise for you, if you do the same thing, and then if we bring somebody else into that who also deals with the same kind of client, and there's three of us collaborating together, but it doesn't happen overnight. Doesn't happen overnight. And this, and I, oh, so I think that a lot of people network for today.
Mm.
Oh, wake up today, this week, I need a client. I'm going to go network and I'm going to get a client. And then I get disappointed because I don't get one. If you have a long-term approach to it without an objective, and I'll give you a good example of this. So 2.5 years ago, a friend of mine, Gillian Schofield, suggested that I connect with a guy called Dean Seddon, runs an agency called Maverick. Very good at LinkedIn, knows his stuff. So I did, and I've interacted with his posts on social media. We've exchanged some direct messages, and I needed some advice on LinkedIn the other week. So I dropped him a video on LinkedIn. Just, Dean, I know people probably pay you for this, so feel free not to answer it, but I've got this question. What would you recommend? And he said, and this is the first proper interaction that we've had. And he said, let's jump on a Zoom.
Love it.
Instantly, I thought, well, if he's in his DMs now, I'm going to reply with my Zoom link. So I put my Zoom link in. 15 minutes later, we're on Zoom. In the background is his book.
I can't see that very well.
So Get Growing.
I want to buy that. That looks good.
So I asked him, he answered my question. His book's on the shelf behind. I said, Dean, thank you very much. I said, I'm going to order a copy of your book now as a way of saying thank you. And then this is the first proper conversation, the first conversation we've had. Anyway, next Wednesday, he's speaking at one of our events online.
I love it. And that all came from that one message.
Yeah. But it's 2.5 years in the making. I had no idea in 2.5 years from today that I'm going to want to ask him a question and ask him to speak at an event.
Beautiful. And you know what? I was telling you earlier. So I bumped into my own personal business mentor. I'd met somebody who'd invited me to an event who in turn, that's where I also met the person who was the catalyst for my elite mastermind. But I sat at the back of the room because I was like, the people here are more interesting. And I accidentally sat next to my business idol, who I did not recognize. But as soon as she introduced herself, it all fell into place. And I absolutely fangirled. I was not cool in the slightest. But we ended up building a relationship. Like, we went for coffee. She ended up actually becoming part of my elite mastermind. And I was telling you earlier, Jamie, like, I've actually got the keys to her office currently sitting on my desk because she's hosting our next mastermind, but she's going to be late. So she's literally was like, yeah, grab the keys, get the codes, make yourself at home. And it's just like that crazy journey of a stranger, somebody I knew from LinkedIn, that I was like, this person, like, they are who I want to be in business when I grow up. It was that caliber of amazing person. And how have I gone from them being a stranger right through to actually they're trusting me with the keys to their office? Like that journey. And that's just, it's those random networking connections. But actually, most important there was follow-up. There was coffee.
Yeah. Well, it starts with saying yes to the invitation, though.
Yes.
And
yes.
we're all busy. We're all busy. I've never met anyone that runs a business that's not busy. But we get invitations to events and we can't say yes to everything. But if we try our best to curate that, and if we're around the right people and they're inviting us to their events, there's a reason why. And it only takes one person from an event to make it worthwhile.
100%.
But you followed up, Ruth.
Followed up. And I'm so glad I did. Honestly, having them in my world, I'm very grateful.
Okay. So you mentioned that you show up as your best self. Top of your game. What's the opposite of that you see in people at networking events?
Oh, man. Okay. So I can use yesterday as an example. Not Laura Brunton. She was awesome and sparkly and like literally wearing sequins, which is something I hugely appreciate. I met a couple of people in breakout rooms who were miserable. They dominated the conversation. They weren't respectful of the other people and like everyone's need to talk. And they just kind of whined a bit. And there's nothing worse than being stuck in a breakout room with somebody you'd rather never see again. So I just think we need to be really conscious of who we are, the energy that we're bringing, and be the person that people want to be around. So one of my local competitors runs a big business network locally. She's also a business coach, and a lot of the people in her like networking rooms are working with me because of the energy that I bring, because the two of us in a room, she's slinking at the side, she's got very different energy to me. Whereas I'm there, I'm like, I am everywhere in that room if I can get into that room, which is very challenging. I'm currently banned because she runs the room. It's fine. I take it as a compliment. But if you show up and just be that person, be that magnetic person that people want to work with, that people will. I had a call earlier with someone who's like, I actually can't afford you right now, but I am going to save and I am going to work with you. Why don't you just do your payment plan? But sure, whatever works. Yeah, we've got to be the good energy, be that good person. Don't be a miserable dick, basically. It's quite simple.
It's it's a it's that point where we've got to do a bit of self-reflection. If we're not getting the results that we want, I generally say to people, it's not the network, it's you.
Yes. Oh my god,
I
yes. That
which
lands really badly with some people. But
yes,
these
it
are
does.
not people you want in your network.
I think it's easy to always think that the grass is greener somewhere else, and I talk myself out of business sometimes, but I believe that most networks are just made of people. Now, there are some where like-minded people come together, so you've got to find the right network, but I think most networks have got good people in them. If there are good people in your network and you're not getting the results from it, maybe you need to take a look at yourself. And that might just be how you show up. Now, this is if sorry for this is not going to work for the people that listen to the audio version of this, but if you can see me on screen now, this is my interested face.
Yeah, not feeling it.
No, but that's my resting face of how I look
You're not
when
allowed
I'm.
to swear on here because I might not have done very well. Sorry.
Well, that's my resting face of how I look. So, and I think about all the times I've been in meetings in person, how miserable I must look
Yeah,
without realizing.
you're giving like fuck off vibes with that face, honestly.
But like that's me really engrossed, and like so my face doesn't reflect how I feel
Mm.
sometimes. But
So
I know that
you
I will.
consciously make your face different.
Yes, I have to think about it, and I'm aware if I'm not smiling, so I think smile, and I've got to the point now where I've for in-person events, I have to think smile quite regularly because it's when I'm just listening, it's easy not to do that. Um, I have adopted a go giver attitude. The Go Giver is the one book that I recommend to everybody. So I will, and I've been lucky enough to speak to the author Bob Berg as well. Not John David Mann, the co-author, but I've spoke to Bob a few times. I've even had a referral into him from somebody else.
Love it. You
And
are a super connector, by the way. I aim to be as good as you at connecting people.
I just love it. I thrive on it, and it makes me feel good. So my objective is it's almost like my head works like a sat nav. If I've got you there, it's trying to work out who are the people that I can connect you to, that I can join the dots. That's just how it makes me feel good, and that my day hasn't been productive unless I've done that.
Love it.
And what's interesting is not everybody works that way. And it's not that they're doing wrong, it's just that no one's ever explained to them that, like you said, you've got to show up as the best version of yourself. I know you might be having a tough time right now, but people want to be around people that give off the right vibe.
And also there are ways, like there are times and a place where it's okay to share really
Yeah.
deeply and authentically, and people can help you, but you've got to do it right.
Yes. And there's a difference. I mean, in our network, in Circle Networks, we're not specifically for referrals. So some people might come up because they just want to be part of a community and have that support. So being in a breakout room with 2 or 3 other people is a safe space to share your frustrations or your challenges. But if you're looking for clients and you turn it, this is what we would say. If you turn up looking miserable, no one's going to want to work with you.
Yeah.
And
Or
that,
just be around you, to be fair.
yes.
Like I have, not often, but I have accidentally had a tech fail when I've ended up in a breakout room with someone I didn't want to be with. Ooh, the Zoom just magically shut and I ended up going back into a different breakout room.
Yeah. But it can be hard sometimes. It can be hard. So if someone is listening to this and they want to find out more about Ruth and your successful business and see what you look like and pick up on that vibe and perhaps even come along to some of your events, how would somebody find out more about what you do?
So I am on LinkedIn, Ruth Ferreira. Good luck spelling it. Hopefully, it's going to be in the show notes.
It will.
I'm on there every flipping day. And I would love to invite you along to my free, well, my it's not free, but my clarity and strategy workshop for free. It's on the first Tuesday of every month. I will give you a link to put in the show notes. It's been described by one of my CEO clients as the most powerful hour you can spend in your business. She said that before she did a VIP day with me, so I like to think that's nicer past that, but she never followed up on that comment, so I'll just let it ride. But yeah, I'd love to have you on here. People normally pay £97 to come. I'll give you a link that anyone listening to this can book on for free. It's a group workshop, super powerful, and it'll help you get real clarity on what's going on in your business and get strategic as to what do you need to do to get to where you want to be.
Well, there's a very generous offer. Thank you very much.
You're super welcome.
Okay. And you are right. You're constantly in my LinkedIn newsfeed. You're very active. You don't just post though. You're using it as a networking platform. So you're having conversation. And we talked about this, didn't we? So it's not just a case of going networking, following up, connecting with people. It's about getting into conversation with people. And that getting into conversation, the way that you explained it was indirect messages. But it's more than that. It's if you've got their number, you drop them a voice note on WhatsApp or you arrange a coffee. There's all sorts of ways to get into conversation with people, isn't there?
And sometimes just showing up on people's feeds. So, like, if they're posting, interact, be encouraging. Like, so many people are posting and they're getting nothing. And it takes very little from you to drop a like and a little comment, ideally 7 or more words, so the algorithm picks it up because that really benefits them. But just why not be a champion of those people? It's a very minimal effort and it's really appreciated when people do it.
I'll go back to what you said earlier. Be the person that you want other people to be with you.
Yes.
I think that's the perfect point to end this. Thank you very much, Ruth.
Love it. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Okay, that was a great episode. A lot of value delivered. What are you going to do differently? Now, this is the most important thing. It's the action that you take now that's going to make a difference on your business, on your income, on your results. Please hit the subscribe button, share this with some people, but most importantly, work out what you're going to do and get started today. Thank you very much.